Life often teaches us that the greatest gifts do not announce themselves in advance. They come quietly, silently, and then suddenly they overwhelm us. The blessing that is making its way to you right now is not one you can calculate, predict, or control. It will come in a way you never expected, and when it does, it will break you in tears, not of pain, but of recognition. You will realize in that very moment that every silent prayer you whispered was heard. Every night you wrestled with doubt. Every day you carried your burden was not in vain. You may have thought nothing was moving, nothing was changing. Yet behind the veil, God was weaving details you could not see. The blessing is not coming as a result of your striving. It comes as a result of your believing. And when it arrives, it will be so sudden that you will look back in awe at the precision of divine timing. You will see that nothing was delayed, nothing was denied. It was only being prepared in a way greater than your imagination. This blessing will not just change your circumstances, it will change you. It will confirm that unseen forces were working for you all along. It will heal your doubts, restore your confidence, and elevate your faith to a new dimension. The rest, knowing this, the unexpected is often the truest proof of grace. The tears you shed will not be of despair, but of overwhelming gratitude. Gratitude that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never overlooked. Prepare yourself, for the blessing coming your way is not ordinary. It will be so unexpected, so powerful, that it will move you to tears, and you will finally understand every waiting season was worth it. The unseen hand of God works in silence. What you cannot see is already unfolding. Life has a way of making us believe that if we cannot measure progress, then nothing is happening. We grow restless. We look for signs. We demand evidence. And when we don't see immediate results, we begin to doubt. But in truth, the most powerful work is always done in silence. Seeds do not shout while they break open beneath the soil. Rivers do not make noise while carving valleys over centuries. In the same way, God's hand does not always reveal itself in the moment, yet every detail is being arranged with a wisdom that far surpasses our own. This is being perfect. And there's only the pause. You may think nothing is shifting, but in reality, everything is. The unseen is always more powerful than the seen. What you cannot touch, cannot measure, cannot fully understand is often where your breakthrough is forming. Just because your eyes cannot trace it does not mean His hands are not shaping it. When you feel delayed, when you feel forgotten, when silence fills the space where you expected answers, remember this: silence, it means preparation. The unseen hand of God moves quietly because if you could see every step of the process, you would attempt to control it, interfere with it, or rush it. But there are blessings that require secrecy, seasons that require hidden growth, and miracles that require divine timing. If God showed you everything in advance, your faith would have no room to grow. The silence is not punishment. It is the environment where trust is born. Consider how the night sky works. The stars are present even when the sun's light makes them invisible. Just because you cannot see them does not mean they have disappeared. In the same way, the hand of God is always present, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, and preparing people to step into your life at the exact moment they are needed. You do not see the details, but one day when it all comes together, you will realize nothing was accidental. We live in a world that glorifies visibility, proof, and immediate results. But the deepest blessings are not delivered in noise and spectacle. They are delivered in stillness, in moments where you least expect them. You will wake up one morning and find that everything has shifted in your favor. You will stand in awe at how what once seemed impossible unfolded so naturally, so effortlessly, that it could only have been orchestrated by an unseen hand. So do not despair when you cannot trace the progress. Trust that progress is being made. Do not lose heart when your prayers seem unanswered. They are being answered in ways that protect you, elevate you, and prepare you for more than you asked. The unseen hand of God works in silence. And while you wait in faith, life is being rearranged in your favor. What is unfolding is far greater than what you imagined. And when it is revealed, you will see that the silence was never empty. It was full of His presence, moving for you all along. Blessings arrive when least expected. They break through when the mind is tired of waiting. Life often teaches us that the most beautiful moments come without warning. You may wait for days, months, even years, clinging to the hope of change, watching doors remain closed, and feeling as though nothing is moving in your favor. But when the mind grows weary of its own striving, when you finally loosen your grip on how and when things should happen, that is often the very moment when the blessing breaks through. It is not because you gave up, it is because you surrendered. Waiting can exhaust the soul. It drains you of energy and tempts you to believe that nothing will ever shift. The mind begins to argue against your faith, whispering that your prayers are wasted and your desires are unrealistic. But it is in this weariness that something remarkable happens. When the mind stops trying to control the outcome, it opens a space for grace to enter. The blessing that had been waiting on the edges of your life finally finds room to manifest because you are no longer blocking it with your resistance. There is a mystery in divine timing. You may think your blessing is late, but it is never late. It arrives at the moment when it can have the greatest impact on your life. It arrives not when you are chasing it with desperation, but when you are ready to receive it with humility and gratitude. Often this readiness is born from exhaustion, from coming to the end of your own efforts and realizing that the power was never in your hands alone. Consider how dawn comes. It does not rush to meet your impatience. It arrives only when the night has run its course. No matter how long the darkness lingers, the morning is guaranteed. In the same way, blessings emerge after seasons of waiting have stretched your patience. They arrive not just to meet your need, but to remind you that there is a wisdom higher than your own, guiding the rhythm of your life. When blessings come suddenly, they carry a weight that ordinary moments do not. They catch you off guard, moving you to tears, because you realize they have been prepared for you all along. You did not have to force them, manipulate them, or exhaust yourself into earning them. They come as a reminder that your faith, though tested, was never in vain. The tears you shed are not of weakness, but of recognition that something greater than your efforts was always at work. So if you find yourself tired of waiting, know this: you are closer to your blessing than you think. Weariness is often the final stretch before breakthrough. Do not interpret your exhaustion as defeat. It is the sign that you are about to step into what you have long desired. Blessings arrive when least expected, and when they do, they will not just meet your need, they will overwhelm your heart, leaving you in awe of the perfect timing that could never have been orchestrated by you, but only by grace. Your faith plants the seed, but grace brings the harvest, and it comes suddenly. Faith is the beginning of every miracle. It is the invisible act of placing trust in what cannot yet be seen. When you believe, you plant a seed deep in the unseen soil of your life. At first, nothing appears to change. The ground looks bare, the silence seems heavy, and doubt begins to whisper that perhaps your faith has accomplished nothing. But unseen to the natural eye, something profound is already happening. That seed is breaking open, roots are forming, and life is being stirred in a dimension beyond your immediate sight. We often mistake our faith for the full process, forgetting that faith is only the planting. Planting requires vision, courage, and trust, but once the seed is sown, it must be surrendered to forces beyond your control. You cannot dig it up daily to check its progress. You cannot force its growth through worry or impatience. The harvest belongs not to striving, but to grace. Grace is the unseen current that waters what you have sown, that orchestrates timing, and that multiplies the fruit far beyond what your hands could have produced. There is a divine mystery in this exchange. Faith is your responsibility. Grace is God's. You decide to believe even in the absence of evidence. You hold fast to the vision of what you desire. You nurture it with gratitude, expectation, and patience. But then you must step back and allow grace to take over. And when grace moves, it does not move slowly. The growth that seemed invisible for so long suddenly burst forth. The harvest that felt delayed arrives in a moment. And it is often so overwhelming, so abundant, that it leaves you in tears of awe. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. He may water and care for the soil, but he cannot command the rain, nor can he control the sun. There are forces working on his behalf that he cannot manipulate. And yet, when the time is right, the field that once looked barren becomes filled with life. Such is the work of grace. It brings forth what your faith began in a way that surprises you with its timing and its abundance. The suddenness of the harvest is no accident. It teaches us that while we may wait in faith, we must also release control. For weeks, months, even years, it may seem as though nothing is happening, but then everything changes at once. A door opens, a relationship appears, an opportunity unfolds, and in that instant you realize that the seed you planted long ago never died. It was simply waiting for grace to reveal it. So never despise the waiting and never lose heart in the silence. If you have planted your seed in faith, trust that grace will bring your harvest. And when it comes, it will not trickle in. It will rush in suddenly, abundantly, beautifully, leaving no doubt that what began with faith was always destined to be completed by grace. Unexpected blessings reveal divine timing. They arrive not a moment too early nor too late. Life often tests our patience by keeping us in seasons where answers seem delayed, doors remain closed, and silence stretches longer than we think we can endure. We question why things are not happening when we want them to, forgetting that timing is not in our hands. The truth is, if blessings came when we demanded them, they might overwhelm us, slip through our fingers, or even destroy us because we were not yet ready to carry them. Divine timing ensures that what is meant for us will not only come, but come at the exact moment when we are prepared to receive it fully. We sometimes imagine that blessings are random, that they arrive by chance. But in reality, every detail is orchestrated with precision. Think of the way the ocean moves. Waves never arrive too early or too late. They break at the exact moment they are meant to. In the same way, blessings are not rushed by our impatience, nor are they hindered by our fears. They move according to a rhythm far wiser than our own understanding. When an unexpected blessing enters your life, it often reveals itself in such perfect alignment that you cannot help but see the hand of God in it. A job arrives right when you thought the door of opportunity was closed. A relationship forms when you least expected love to find you. A solution comes in the very hour when you thought all options had run dry. These blessings do not simply appear. They are divinely timed interventions. They come as reminders that life is not governed by coincidence, but by design. There is also a reason why blessings feel more powerful when they arrive unexpectedly. They catch us off guard because we are no longer striving to force them. In that moment, we see clearly that it was not our effort, not our manipulation, not our control that made it happen. It was grace unfolding at the appointed hour. This suddenness is what moves us to tears, for it shows us that while we may have felt forgotten, the truth is we were always being remembered in ways beyond our comprehension. If blessings were to come too early, they might slip away because we would not yet be ready to hold them. If they came too late, they might miss the impact they were meant to have. But in divine timing, they come with precision, teaching us patience and faith. They arrive at the intersection of our readiness and God's plan, where preparation meets opportunity, and suddenly everything makes sense. So trust the delays, for they are not denials. Trust the waiting, for it is shaping you to receive what you have asked for. And when the blessing comes, unexpected, sudden, undeniable, you will see that it could not have come one day earlier or one day later. It will have arrived exactly on time, proving that divine timing is never late and never early, but always perfect. The tears you cry will not be of sorrow, but of recognition, realizing God never forgot you. There comes a moment in every journey when the weight of waiting, the silence of unanswered prayers, and the ache of uncertainty feel almost unbearable. You may wonder if your words have been lost in the vastness of the universe, if your faith has gone unnoticed, if your struggles are hidden from the one who sees all. But then, in a way so sudden and undeniable, the blessing arrives. And when it does, it moves you to tears, not because of pain, but because of the overwhelming realization that you were never forgotten. These tears are different from those of despair. They are tears of recognition, tears that flow when the invisible becomes visible, when the unseen hand you trusted finally shows its work. You remember the nights you prayed in silence, the moments you fought back doubt, the times you questioned whether your life had been overlooked, and suddenly you see that every moment mattered. Every prayer was heard. Every season of waiting was a part of a greater design that you could not yet understand. It is in that moment that gratitude overwhelms you. You realize that God was not absent in your pain. He was present in ways you did not see. He was aligning circumstances, shaping hearts, preparing opportunities, and protecting you from paths that would have harmed you. What felt like delay was not neglect. It was divine preparation. What felt like silence was not abandonment. It was guidance leading you to the right place at the right time. The blessing unfolds. It often feels too precise to be explained by chance. The right door opens when every other door had closed. The right person enters your life when you least expect it. The right opportunity appears just when you thought hope had run dry. And as you stand in the middle of it, tears flow because you recognize the truth. You were remembered all along. There is a depth to these tears that words cannot capture. They cleanse the heart of bitterness. They wash away doubt, and they soften the soul with the sweetness of trust renewed. In that instant, all the waiting feels worth it. All the pain seems to have been leading to this moment of revelation. The recognition is not only of the blessing itself, but of the love behind it. You see that you were held in the palm of God's hand, even when you felt alone. You see that every unanswered prayer was not a denial, but a redirection to something better. So when you cry in that moment, do not hide your tears. Let them flow, for they are not a sign of weakness, but of divine recognition. They are proof that your heart knows what your mind once doubted. You were never forgotten. God's memory of you never faded. His plans for you never failed, and his love for you never wavered. Those tears are the soul's way of saying, I see now what I could not see before. I was always remembered. The moment of surprise is the proof of answered prayer. Your quiet trust manifests in power. There is something extraordinary about the way life delivers answers to those who believe. Prayers whispered in silence, words spoken from the depths of the heart, are not lost in the emptiness of space. They take root in the unseen, carried by faith, nourished by patience, and then released in the perfect moment. When the answer finally appears, it often comes as a surprise. It breaks into your life in a way you could not have planned, in a form you did not anticipate, and with a timing so precise that it leaves no doubt that your prayer has been heard. Surprise is not accident, it is design. It is the way grace reveals its presence. If blessings always arrived exactly as you expected, they would no longer feel like miracles, they would feel like calculations. But when they appear suddenly beyond the limits of your reasoning, you know something greater than yourself has been at work. The very fact that you are surprised is the evidence that your quiet trust was not wasted. It is the signature of the unseen becoming seen, the invisible becoming tangible. Quiet trust is powerful because it does not demand constant proof. It is not restless, nor does it bargain with time. It believes even when nothing outward changes, even when the silence lingers. This kind of trust is not loud, it is steady. It does not crumble under delay, because it knows that delay is not denial. And it is precisely this quiet trust that sets the stage for the surprise, for the manifestation that arrives like a gift wrapped in mystery, unveiled only when the time is right. Think of how dawn surprises the night. One moment darkness seems unbroken, the next the horizon glows with light. It happens so suddenly that you forget how long the night had lasted. In the same way, your life can shift in an instant. What you prayed for years ago can manifest in a single moment, so suddenly that it feels unreal. That moment of surprise carries with it a quiet confirmation. You were heard, you were remembered, and your faith has borne fruit. It is not the striving of the mind that manifests blessings, but the surrender of the heart. When you trust quietly, without forcing, you create space for grace to move. You step back, and in stepping back, you allow power greater than yourself to act on your behalf. And when that power reveals itself, it does so not with small gestures, but with undeniable evidence that your prayer has been answered. So do not despise the waiting, and do not doubt the silence. Every prayer you have whispered in faith is alive, waiting for its appointed time, and when it comes, it will come as a surprise, sudden, undeniable, overflowing with power. In that moment, you will know that your quiet trust was never empty. It was the very key that opened the door to the manifestation you now hold. The truth is simple yet profound. Nothing in your life is wasted, nothing is forgotten, and nothing arrives too late. The unseen hand is always working, blessings are always being prepared, and your faith is never ignored. What feels delayed is only being aligned. What feels silent is actually full of divine movement. And when it all unfolds, it will be so sudden, so precise, so overwhelming, that you will know without question, it was never your striving, but grace that brought it forth. Your faith has already planted the seed, and grace is preparing the harvest. The unexpected blessings you long for will come not a moment too early, nor a moment too late, but at the exact hour you are ready. And when they arrive, the tears you cry will not be of sorrow, but of recognition. Recognition that you were never abandoned. Recognition that you were always remembered. Recognition that your prayers, even whispered in silence, have been answered in power. So hold on in faith. Press in quiet trust. For the very moment you least expect it, everything will change, and in that moment you will know every second of waiting was worth it. Hey! Lift the eye. No. The very fuel that propels them into existence. When you feel the winning, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You must become the person who has already won, not in the distant future, but right now. It is essential that you release all doubt. Doubt is the thief of manifestation. When you let go of uncertainty and fully accept that your win is inevitable, you free yourself to receive it. Let the thought of winning be as natural to you as breathing. Be specific. What will you do with your winnings? What dreams will you live out? The more detailed and vivid your vision, the stronger the pull it has to manifest. The universe responds to precision, while you hold this image detached from the how and when. You do not need to know the mechanics of how your win will unfold. The moment you let go of the need to figure out the process, the universe takes over. Your belief is enough. So, next time you play the lottery, do not just see it as a game of chance. Play it with the full awareness that the game is yours to win. Hold your ticket not as a dream, but as a reminder that your desires are already being brought into existence. There is magic in your belief, in your imagination, and in your faith that what you desire is already yours. Trust in the power within you. The magic isn't just in the numbers. It's in the belief you carry that your desires are already fulfilled. Play the game of life not as a spectator, but as the creator of your own reality. The power of imagination is one of the most profound forces in shaping our lives. It is not just a passing daydream or a fleeting thought. Imagination is the very blueprint of reality. Your mind is not a passive observer of the world. It is an active participant in the creation of your experience. Everything you see, hear, and touch began as an idea in someone's mind. It was first imagined before it ever became real. Likewise, the life you are living today is a reflection of the thoughts and images you have been holding in your own imagination. To understand the power of imagination, you must first realize that your thoughts are far more than just mental noise. They are the very building blocks of your reality. When you imagine something, you are not merely thinking about it, you are creating it. Your thoughts are powerful magnets that attract the people, situations, and experiences that match the frequency of those thoughts. They are like seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious mind, and as you continue to nurture those thoughts, they begin to take root and grow into your external world. But not all thoughts are created equal. The key to using your imagination effectively lies in conviction. It's not enough to simply think about something. You must think about it with certainty and belief. When you hold a vision in your mind and truly believe in its reality, you are sending a signal to the universe that you expect it to unfold. Conviction is the spark that ignites the power of imagination. It is the energy that transforms a fleeting thought into a tangible experience. Many people make the mistake of imagining something they desire, but without fully committing to the belief that it can be theirs. They might imagine winning the lottery, for example, but they simultaneously entertain doubts or fears that it could never happen. The power of imagination cannot work in the presence of doubt. It is only when you fully accept the image you've created in your mind that it can begin to materialize in your physical reality. This is why it is so important to align your imagination with your emotions. Imagination alone is powerful, but when you add emotion to the mix, it becomes even more potent. Emotions are the fuel that energize your thoughts. The more intensely you feel the joy, excitement, and gratitude of already having what you desire, the stronger your signal becomes. The universe does not respond to your desires based on what you think. You are answered based on what you feel. If you feel abundant, you attract abundance. If you feel love, you attract love. If you feel success, you attract success. It's also crucial to remember that your imagination is not confined by time or space. You do not need to wait for the right moment or the right circumstances to begin imagining your desired life. Imagination transcends these limitations. The moment you begin to imagine, you are already creating. The future you wish for already exists in the realm of your imagination. It's simply waiting for you to claim it. One of the most powerful aspects of imagination is its ability to override the limitations of the present. If your current reality doesn't reflect the life you want to live, your imagination gives you the freedom to step into the version of yourself who already has everything you desire. This is where many people falter. They look at their present circumstances and allow them to dictate what's possible. But your circumstances are not the truth of who you are. They are just a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. The present moment is fluid, and your imagination has the power to shape it. When you begin to fully grasp the power of your imagination, you will realize that you are not a passive observer in life. You are the creator. Every thought, every image you hold in your mind is a stroke on the canvas of your reality. The more clearly and vividly you see your desired outcome, the quicker it will begin to appear in your life. Imagination is the first step, but belief and emotion are what bring it into form. So the next time you catch yourself imagining something, remember that it is not just a harmless daydream. Your thoughts are a powerful tool for creation. You are not merely thinking, you are laying the foundation for your future. Hold your vision with conviction, fuel it with emotion, and watch as the world around you begins to shift and align with the reality you've imagined. The life you desire is already yours. It is waiting for you to claim it through the power of your imagination. Emotional alignment is one of the most powerful principles you can embrace in the process of manifesting your desires. It goes far beyond simply thinking about what you want or imagining it in your mind. Emotional alignment requires you to step into the feeling of already having what you desire. It's not enough to envision your success. You must become it. You must embody the emotions of having already achieved your goal, because it is in those emotions that the true power of manifestation resides. The universe responds not just to your thoughts, but to the vibrational frequency you are emitting. Everything in the universe is energy, and emotions are a direct expression of your energy. When you align your emotional state with the reality you wish to create, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive it. Your feelings are magnetic. They draw towards you the experiences, people, and opportunities that match the vibration you are emitting. Therefore, if you want to attract abundance, success, love, or anything else, you must first align your emotional state with the feelings of already having those things. Imagine for a moment that you have just won a large sum of money. Your mind instantly creates an image of what that would look like. Perhaps you see yourself celebrating with friends, buying your dream home, or traveling the world. But what truly matters in that moment is not the image itself, but the feelings that arise within you. How would you feel in that moment? Joyful, relieved, excited, grateful. These emotions are the true currency of creation. To manifest your desires, you must learn to feel those emotions now, not in the future, but in the present moment. The secret is to act as if you have already won, to embody the victory even before the physical evidence appears. This may sound difficult at first, especially if your current circumstances do not reflect what you desire. But it is in this very practice that you begin to shift your reality. Feeling the emotions of success, love, or fulfillment, even if you don't yet have them in your physical world, aligns your energy with the future you wish to create. When you feel the emotions of already having won, you create a powerful alignment between your inner world and the outer world you want to experience. You no longer need to chase after your desires because you are already living in the state of having them. The key is to deeply embody the emotions associated with your vision, whether it's the joy of financial freedom, the excitement of love, or the peace of health. These feelings are not just fleeting emotions. They are energetic frequencies that send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Many people make the mistake of waiting for their desires to manifest before they allow themselves to feel the emotions associated with success. They think, When I get the money, then I'll feel abundant. Or when I find the right partner, then I'll feel loved. This is backward thinking. The secret to creating anything in your life is to feel the emotions of already having it, even before the physical evidence is present. It's the feeling that fuels the creation process. This emotional alignment is what moves you from being in a state of lack to one of abundance. When you feel like a winner, when you genuinely embody the emotions of success and gratitude, you stop identifying with scarcity or limitation. You begin to identify with the version of yourself who has already achieved their goals. This shift in identity is crucial because your identity dictates how you experience the world. When you align with the emotions of your desired reality, you also align with the identity of the person who already has it. And once that alignment occurs, the universe begins to match your frequency by bringing you the experiences, people, and opportunities that align with that energy. Feeling your emotions as if your desires have already come true also helps to build trust in the process. When you cultivate the emotions of already having received what you want, you send a clear signal to the universe that you trust its timing and its ability to deliver. You are no longer in a state of doubt or impatience, but in a state of deep belief that what you desire is already on its way. So, the next time you think about your dreams or goals, don't just visualize them, feel them. Let yourself bask in the emotions of success, joy, and fulfillment. Feel the gratitude as if it has already happened, and allow those feelings to become your new reality. The more you practice emotional alignment, the quicker your outer reality will begin to match the vibrational frequency you are sending out into the world. You are not just imagining your success, you are living it right now in every thought and emotion you experience. Doubt is the enemy of creation. It is the silent force that works against the flow of your desires, casting shadows on the powerful energy that could bring them into reality. When you doubt, you disconnect from the very source that holds the key to your dreams. Doubt clouds your vision and weakens your belief, making it impossible for your desires to manifest as they should. It's essential, therefore, to release doubt completely, as it has no place in the creative process. The true catalyst for manifestation lies in unwavering belief, in knowing that what you desire is already yours, and trusting that the universe will deliver it in its perfect time and way. At the core of manifestation is the law of assumption. When you assume that your desire is already a reality, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the version of yourself who has already received it. The act of doubting this assumption creates resistance, disrupting the natural flow of your desires into your life. Doubt tells the universe that you are unsure, that you don't fully believe in your ability to receive what you want. And when you project this uncertainty, you are essentially telling the universe, I'm not ready for this. But when you let go of doubt, you create an open channel for your desires to come to you effortlessly. The first step in releasing doubt is recognizing that it's a natural part of the human experience. We all have moments where we question if we're on the right path or whether what we desire is even possible. These doubts often arise from fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of the unknown. But fear is nothing more than a mental construct. It is the mind's attempt to protect you from what it perceives as danger. The truth is, fear and doubt are simply thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. When you feel doubt creeping in, remind yourself that your thoughts are not permanent truths. Just as easily as you can think a doubtful thought, you can replace it with a thought of belief and trust. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to shift your mindset from one of uncertainty to one of total faith. Every time doubt enters your mind, pause and consciously choose to release it. Affirm to yourself, I trust that what I desire is already on its way. It is already mine. This simple act of faith shifts the entire energetic landscape, bringing you back into alignment with the manifestation process. Trust is the antidote to doubt. Trusting that you have already received what you desire is the key to unlocking the doors of manifestation. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see it in your physical reality. The universe operates on its own timing, and while you may not always understand the how or the when, you must trust that it is working in your favor. The very fact that you have a desire means that the seeds of its fulfillment are already planted. Your job is to nurture that seed with belief and trust, allowing it to grow into the reality you've envisioned. One of the most powerful ways to release doubt is to focus on the evidence of past successes in your life. Reflect on the times when you've wanted something, truly believed in it, and then seen it manifest. Remember the joy, the relief, the excitement you felt when your desires came to fruition. This serves as proof that the creative process works, that you are capable of manifesting whatever you set your mind to. Use this evidence as a foundation for your belief, reminding yourself that what you desire is just as possible as anything you've already achieved. Another important aspect of releasing doubt is learning to detach from the how and when. Often we become fixated on how our desires will come to us and when they will arrive. This attachment creates anxiety and reinforces doubt because the mind is trying to control the process. The truth is, you do not need to know how your desires will manifest, nor do you need to worry about the timeline. Your belief is enough. The universe is always at work behind the scenes, arranging the perfect circumstances for your desires to unfold. Your role is to trust the process and believe that it is already happening. As you release doubt and embrace faith, you will begin to feel lighter, more confident, and at peace. Doubt no longer holds power over you. You will be able to look at your desires not as distant hopes, but as inevitable realities. You will trust in your own ability to create the life you desire, and in doing so, you will see the magic of manifestation unfold before you. The key to this process is knowing that your inner belief is the most important tool in creating your reality. When you trust, when you believe with every fiber of your being that what you desire is already yours, you unlock the door to limitless possibilities. Doubt cannot enter when your belief is unwavering. It is in the absence of doubt that you find the true power to manifest everything you want. Clarity is the cornerstone of successful manifestation. When you are clear about what you want, you create a precise and powerful vibration that aligns your inner world with your desired outcome. The universe operates on a frequency of energy, and in order to attract your desires, you must send out a clear and specific signal. The more specific you are in your desire, the more easily the universe can respond to your request. Vague desires result in vague manifestations. To truly harness the power of manifestation, you must know exactly what you want and visualize it with unwavering clarity. The process of manifestation begins with an idea, a thought, or desire that sparks within you. This desire has the potential to become a reality, but in order for this to happen, you must refine that idea. A general wish, such as, "I want more money," or "I want to be happy," lacks the detail that is necessary to bring it into form. When you ask for more money without specifying an amount, the universe may respond in ways you don't expect, and you may not even notice when your desire is fulfilled. Clarity brings precision to your requests and ensures that you are asking for exactly what you want, not just an ambiguous version of it. Imagine you're standing before a blank canvas ready to create a masterpiece. If you don't have a clear vision of what you want to paint, your brushstrokes may wander aimlessly, producing a result that feels incomplete or unsatisfying. Similarly, when you approach manifestation with uncertainty, your desires become scattered and the universe struggles to bring them into your reality. But when you know exactly what you want, the universe can work in perfect harmony to bring that vision to life. Every detail matters. Being specific in your desire does not just mean knowing the what, but also understanding the how and the why. For example, if you desire a new home, don't just visualize a house in general terms. Think about the features you want. How many rooms, the style, the location, the feeling you want to experience in your new space. Visualize the color of the walls, the furniture, the natural light, and the energy you want to experience when you walk through the front door. The more detailed your visualization, the more the universe can align the energy necessary to make that home a reality for you. The same applies to any desire, whether it's financial abundance, a loving relationship, or a successful career. Clarity helps you create a vivid mental image of your goals. And this image is what fuels the energy needed for manifestation. When you have a clear mental picture, you can focus all your attention on it, infusing it with emotion and energy and aligning your actions with the goal. This focus creates a powerful magnetic field around your desire, attracting the opportunities, people, and circumstances that will bring it to life. Knowing exactly what you want also helps you to eliminate distractions. It's easy to get lost in the multitude of desires we all have, and sometimes we end up spreading our energy too thin. When you focus on one clear desire at a time, you direct all your energy toward it, ensuring that it is the only thing that occupies your thoughts and emotions. This concentration intensifies your creative power, and as a result, you begin to notice signs, synchronicities, and opportunities that lead you directly to your goal. Clarity also strengthens your belief. When you are specific about your desires, you are telling yourself that you are worthy of receiving them. You are setting a clear intention, and intention is the driving force behind all manifestation. When your intention is focused and clear, you approach your goal with certainty, and this certainty is the fuel that propels your desires into reality. Clarity allows you to notice when the universe is responding. Often the universe sends us messages, opportunities, and signs that our desire are already in motion. If your desire is vague, it becomes difficult to recognize these signs. But when you are specific, you can easily identify when something aligns with your goal. Perhaps it's a phone call from a potential client, a new opportunity that arises, or a chance encounter that leads to a breakthrough. The clearer your intention, the more you will begin to notice these signs, and this feedback from the universe will reinforce your belief that your desire is on its way. In the process of manifestation, clarity is essential because it gives the universe the roadmap it needs to deliver your desires. You must know exactly what you want, and you must hold that vision with absolute certainty. By doing so, you create a direct line of communication between your desires and the universe, ensuring that nothing is lost in translation. The more specific you are, the faster and more effortlessly your desires will come into your reality. Remember, the universe is always responding to your thoughts, so be clear, be specific, and trust that your desires are already on their way. Faith in the process is one of the most powerful tools you can wield when manifesting your desires. It is the unwavering belief that, regardless of what you see with your physical eyes or what circumstances you face, everything is aligning perfectly in your favor. Faith is the deep-rooted understanding that the universe is always working on your behalf, even when the path isn't immediately clear. It is the belief that what you desire is already in motion, even if you can't see the evidence of it just yet. This trust in the unseen forces is a crucial element in the manifestation process. For it is faith that allows you to remain steady when doubt threatens to creep in, and when external circumstances seem to contradict your desires. Manifestation is not always an instantaneous process. Sometimes you will face moments of uncertainty or struggle, where the reality around you seems far removed from what you are envisioning. These moments are the true tests of faith. It's easy to believe in the process when everything is going smoothly, but true faith is displayed when things appear to be going wrong or when results seem delayed. In these moments, it is essential to remember that everything is unfolding according to a perfect plan, even if you cannot see it yet.
The universe has its own timing, and it is never wrong. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean your desires aren't being worked on behind the scenes. Everything you've asked for is already in the process of being delivered to you, and all the unseen forces are working tirelessly to bring it into your life. This faith in the process requires patience and trust. Trust that the circumstances you currently find yourself in are not permanent. They are simply stepping stones on the journey toward your desired outcome. The more you learn to trust the process, the more you begin to detach from the need for control. When you let go of the need to know how or when something will manifest, you allow the universe to work its magic in ways you may not have imagined. The universe often works in ways that are beyond our comprehension, orchestrating events and circumstances in perfect alignment with our desires. Trusting in this process means releasing the urge to micromanage the outcome, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Faith also means having the courage to remain calm and composed when things feel uncertain. It's easy to lose faith when you are confronted with obstacles or when things don't seem to be going your way. However, faith requires you to stay grounded in the knowing that everything is happening for your highest good. Even in moments of difficulty, there are lessons and opportunities that are pushing you closer to your desired outcome. The challenges are not signs of failure, but invitations to grow, adapt, and align even more closely with your desires. Every challenge is an opportunity for you to reaffirm your faith and to remain steadfast in your belief that success is inevitable. Believing in the unseen forces means trusting that every moment is part of the larger picture that is unfolding for you. While it may seem like nothing is happening in the physical world, everything is in motion on the energetic level. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are sending out signals into the universe, and those signals are being answered. You may not see it immediately, but the universe is rearranging things in your favor. It is aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances to help bring your desires into fruition. The key is to maintain faith and not be swayed by temporary setbacks or delays. When you truly believe in the process, you become a magnet for the opportunities and synchronicities that will bring your desires to life. Faith in the process also involves maintaining a positive outlook, even when external circumstances seem to contradict your vision. The key is to hold on to your belief in the unseen forces, trusting that what you want is already on its way. You don't need to have all the answers or understand how things will unfold. What you need is the conviction that your desires are already in motion and that the universe is always conspiring for your success. The more you trust in this, the more effortlessly your desires will manifest. The act of believing in the unseen allows you to align with the flow of the universe, ensuring that you receive everything you've asked for in divine timing. Faith in the process is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the belief that, no matter how things appear in the physical world, the universe is orchestrating everything for your highest good. It is the trust that what you desire is already yours, and it is only a matter of time before it reveals itself in your experience. So when you are faced with uncertainty or doubt, remind yourself that everything is happening in perfect order. Have faith in the process, for the universe is always working in your favor. Keep your focus on the end result, and trust that every step, every moment, and every challenge is bringing you closer to the manifestation of your dreams. Detaching from the outcome is one of the most liberating and powerful practices in the manifestation process. It is the practice of letting go of the need to control how and when your desires will manifest. While you focus your thoughts on your desire, you must also release any attachment to the details of how it will happen. This shift in mindset is essential for allowing your desires to unfold in the most natural and effortless way. When you are attached to the how and when, you are essentially limiting the universe's ability to deliver your desires in the most ideal way. When you detach from the outcome, you free the universe to work in the most perfect and unexpected ways. The first step to detaching from the outcome is to recognize that you do not need to know how your desires will manifest. The how is not your responsibility. When you obsess over the logistics of how something will happen, you are placing limitations on your manifestation. The universe has an infinite number of ways to bring your desires to fruition. But when you try to control the process, you are narrowing your options. The key is to trust that the universe knows how to deliver your desires in the best possible way, even if you cannot see the path. Your role is to hold the vision of your desire clearly in your mind, to feel the emotions of already having it, and to trust that it will come to you in the perfect form and timing. Letting go of the when is equally important. Many people struggle with impatience, and it's easy to become frustrated when things don't manifest according to your timeline. However, the moment you begin to insist that your desire must happen at a specific time, you are creating resistance. The universe does not work on human timelines. It operates on divine timing, which is always in alignment with what is best for you. Trust that the universe knows when the right moment will be for your manifestation. Often the timing of your desire is perfectly aligned with other opportunities, circumstances, or people that will support your success. If you force the timing, you may be stepping outside of the natural flow of events that need to unfold. When you detach from the outcome, you also release the emotional charge associated with it. Often, we become so emotionally invested in the outcome that we allow ourselves to become anxious, fearful, or frustrated if things aren't progressing as quickly as we would like. This emotional attachment to the outcome creates resistance and blocks the flow of manifestation. The key to detachment is cultivating a sense of peace and trust, knowing that your desires are already on their way. Your job is to remain focused on your vision and to take inspired action when needed, but without being attached to how or when things will unfold. The more relaxed you are about the process, the more quickly and effortlessly your desires can materialize. Detaching from the outcome also means releasing any fear of failure or disappointment. If you are attached to the outcome, you are essentially giving power to the fear of it not happening. This fear only serves to keep your desires at bay. When you let go of this fear and trust that everything is working out for you, you align with the energy of success. Belief and trust in the process are the true catalysts for manifestation. When you trust that your desires are already yours, regardless of how they arrive or when they appear, you send out a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive them. Another benefit of detaching from the outcome is that it allows you to remain present. If you are constantly focused on when something will happen, you are not fully engaged in the present moment. Your thoughts are consumed with the future, and this can create feelings of impatience or dissatisfaction with your current circumstances. When you detach from the outcome, you bring your focus back to the present moment, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly in its own time. This mindfulness allows you to experience gratitude for what you already have, while remaining open to the future that is unfolding. It also helps you stay in a state of high vibration, which is essential for attracting your desires. By detaching from the outcome, you also create space for miracles to happen. The universe works in mysterious ways, and it often delivers your desires in ways you never could have anticipated. When you let go of the need to control how your desire will show up, you make room for the universe to surprise you with something even better than you imagined. When you are open and detached, you become a magnet for unexpected blessings and synchronicities that bring your desires to life in extraordinary ways. In the process of manifestation, faith, trust, and detachment are the keys to success. By focusing on the desire, holding the vision in your mind, and releasing any attachment to the outcome, you align yourself with the flow of the universe. You trust that everything is already on its way, even if you can't see it yet. This trust and surrender create an energy of ease and grace, allowing your desires to manifest effortlessly. The more you detach from the how and when, the faster and more effortlessly your desires will come into your life. So, release control, trust the process, and allow the universe to bring your dreams to fruition in its own perfect timing. In conclusion, the path to manifestation is not about force or control, but about aligning with the natural flow of the universe. By embracing the power of imagination, feeling the emotions of your desires as if they are already yours, releasing doubt, being specific in your desires, having faith in the process, and detaching from the outcome, you open yourself to the limitless possibilities that are already on their way to you. Trust that the universe is working on your behalf, and know that your desires are already unfolding in perfect timing, even if you cannot yet see it. Your role is simply to remain focused, calm, and open, and to believe that everything you desire is already yours. Thank you for listening, and may you step into your power, trusting that the life you've envisioned is closer than you think. Stay patient, stay aligned, and above all, stay faithful in the process. Listen carefully. You may believe that time has been lost, that years have slipped through your hands like grains of sand. You may look at your past and feel regret, thinking of the moments wasted, the opportunities missed, the love unfulfilled. But I tell you now, nothing is truly lost in the eyes of God. Every delay, every setback, every tear you have shed was not in vain. You are on the brink of divine restoration. And how do you know? Because something within you has already shifted. You may feel a calm you cannot explain, a peace that does not match your circumstances. That is the first sign. It is the quiet whisper of God telling you, "Be still, for I am working on your behalf." And then doors begin to open. Doors you never knocked on. Suddenly, the opportunities you once chased are now chasing you. The right people appear, the right resources flow, and what once seemed impossible now feels inevitable. But more than the outward changes, you will feel a release within. The chains of your past, the weight of regret, the endless questions of what if, they begin to dissolve. You no longer mourn what was lost, for you understand now that nothing was truly wasted. The timing of your life begins to make sense. What you once prayed for, begged for, fought for, it is coming, but in a way you never expected. And it will come faster than you imagined. Restoration is not a slow process in the hands of the divine. It is an acceleration. Years of struggle are undone in a moment. The time you thought was lost will be returned to you in multiplied blessings. But here is the greatest sign of all. Your faith is unshakable. Where once you doubted, now you trust. You move with certainty, not fear. You no longer ask when, because you know the answer. Now. God is restoring your wasted years. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. And all you must do is receive it. There comes a moment in life when, despite all outward appearances, a deep and unshakable calm settles within you. The storm may still rage around you, uncertainty, loss, and disappointment may still be present, but something inside tells you that everything is aligning, that what was once broken is being restored. This is not mere optimism or wishful thinking. It is a knowing, a divine assurance that cannot be explained by logic or reason. You begin to notice that the things which once disturbed your peace no longer hold power over you. The thoughts of past mistakes, the weight of missed opportunities, the regrets that used to haunt your nights, suddenly they lose their grip. It is not that you no longer remember them, but they no longer define you. Where once there was restlessness, now there is stillness. Where once there was fear, now there is trust. This shift does not come from the outside world. In fact, if you were to judge by external circumstances alone, you might think that nothing has changed. The same problems may still exist, the same uncertainties may still surround you. Yet within you there is a new presence, a quiet voice that reassures you, all is well. This is the first sign of restoration, the first glimpse of the divine working beneath the surface of your life. Others may not understand it. They may question how you remain so calm when everything seems to be in chaos. They may even tell you to worry, to panic, to fear for the future. But their words do not touch you, for you have already seen beyond the illusion of lack and delay. You have already glimpsed the truth that what is meant for you is already unfolding, even if your physical eyes cannot yet see it. This peace is not passive, it is powerful. It is the evidence that something unseen is at work, that everything is moving in divine order. It is the proof that restoration is near, for before anything manifests in the outer world, it is first established in the inner. And so, as this calm deepens, you find yourself releasing the need to force, to struggle, to demand. You no longer push against life, but instead you allow it to unfold. Even in moments of challenge, you do not react the way you once did. The same situations that used to upset you now barely move you. You recognize that every trial, every setback, every delay was not a sign of failure, but a necessary part of the unfolding process. You begin to trust in timing, not your own, but the divine timing that governs all things. As you walk in this newfound stillness, something extraordinary happens. The external world begins to shift to match the peace within. Opportunities arise effortlessly. Solutions appear where there once seemed to be none. The relationships that are meant for you come with ease, and those that no longer serve your path fall away naturally. What once seemed delayed is now arriving at the perfect moment. Not a second too soon, not a second too late. And then you realize the greatest truth of all. The peace you feel was never dependent on the outside world. It was always within you, waiting to be uncovered. The storm did not have to end for you to be at peace. The circumstances did not have to change for you to be restored. The restoration began the moment you surrendered the need to control, the moment you trusted in what you could not see. You no longer ask, when will it happen, because you understand that it already has. You no longer look to the outside for signs, because the only sign you needed was the deep calm within. That was your proof, your confirmation. You are not waiting for restoration, you are walking in it. And soon the world will have no choice but to reflect what you have already claimed. There comes a time in life when things begin to shift in ways you never anticipated. You may have spent years chasing opportunities, knocking on doors that never seemed to open, striving tirelessly to force things into place, but suddenly, without struggle, without effort, doors begin to open. Doors you never knocked on, doors you never even knew existed. This is the sign that divine restoration is unfolding in your life. You start to notice how opportunities come to you rather than you chasing them. The right people appear at the right time, bringing solutions to problems you once thought were impossible to resolve. Conversations seem to align perfectly, leading you to places and situations that feel almost predestined. You may have been searching for one thing, only to be led to something far greater. This is not luck, nor is it coincidence. It is the evidence of a higher order working behind the scenes of your life, aligning everything for your highest good. When doors open without you knocking, it is a sign that what you desire has already been prepared for you. It was never about struggle or effort. It was always about alignment. You will find that the more you let go of control, the more effortlessly things unfold. Perhaps in the past, you believed that success, love, or fulfillment required constant effort, that you had to prove yourself worthy of blessings. But now you see the truth. What is meant for you will find its way to you when you are in the right state of being. This shift may seem subtle. A chance encounter leads to an unexpected connection. A casual conversation turns into a life-changing opportunity. You find yourself in the right place at the right time again and again. But as this pattern continues, you begin to realize that nothing is random. The doors that open were already destined for you. You just needed to reach the point where you could walk through them without resistance. The key is in trusting the process. When things start aligning effortlessly, do not question whether you deserve it. Do not hesitate out of fear or doubt. Too often people resist their own blessings, thinking it must be too good to be true. But what if it is simply the way things were always meant to be? What if all the struggle was only necessary until you learned to trust? You may notice that even what once felt like rejection now makes sense. The doors that remained closed in the past were never meant for you. The people who walked away, the jobs you didn't get, the opportunities that fell through, they were simply detours leading you to something far greater. And now, as things begin to unfold effortlessly, you realize that nothing was ever lost. Every delay was divine protection. Every setback was a setup for something better. As more doors open, you will also notice a shift in your mindset. You no longer feel the need to chase, to beg, to force things to happen. You walk with confidence, knowing that what is for you will never miss you. This is not arrogance. It is faith. Faith in the unseen. Faith in the knowing that you are being divinely guided toward the path that was always meant for you. As doors continue to open, you step through them boldly. You no longer question if you are ready, because you understand that the very fact that the door opened means you are. You do not second guess the blessings that flow into your life, because you now recognize them for what they are. Evidence that you are in alignment with the highest plan for your life. You may have spent years knocking, searching, striving, but now you no longer have to. The way has already been made. The doors have already been prepared. All you must do is walk through them. There comes a moment when you realize that the past no longer has power over you. The regrets, the disappointments, the what-ifs that once held you captive begin to fade. It is not that you forget what happened, but you are no longer bound by it. The memories that once brought pain now feel distant, like something that happened to someone else in another lifetime. This is the quiet miracle of release. You do not force it, nor do you chase it. It simply happens. One day you wake up and notice that the heavy weight you carried for years is no longer there. The resentment, the longing, the sorrow, all of it has been replaced by a deep understanding that nothing was truly lost. Every experience, every delay, every perceived failure was not a waste, but a preparation for something greater. For so long you may have believed that you missed your chance, that time was slipping away, that the best days were behind you. You may have mourned opportunities that seemed to pass you by, relationships that ended before their time, dreams that never materialized the way you imagined. But now you see clearly. Nothing was ever taken from you. What is meant for you can never truly be lost. It can only be delayed until the moment you are ready to receive it. And so, as this realization settles in, you find yourself no longer looking back with longing or regret. The past is no longer something you wish you could change. It simply is. And more than that, you understand now that it served its purpose. It was never meant to hold you back. It was meant to shape you, to prepare you, to teach you things that only time and experience could. The wounds that once seemed so deep no longer define you. You do not feel the need to revisit old pain, to replay conversations, to relive moments that are long gone. You do not seek closure from people who have moved on, because you realize that the only closure you ever needed was within yourself. You are free, free from the need to explain, to justify, to make sense of what has already passed. This freedom brings a lightness to your soul. Where once there was heaviness, now there is peace. Where once there was doubt, now there is trust. You no longer see time as something that has been wasted, but as something that was always working in your favor, even when you did not understand it. Every delay, every detour, every so-called mistake was guiding you toward a greater unfolding. You move differently. You no longer hesitate out of fear that you will repeat the past. You no longer shrink yourself because of old failures. The past is no longer your enemy. It is simply a chapter in a book that you have already read. You take its lessons with you, but you do not stay stuck in its pages. And because you are no longer trapped in yesterday, you are finally free to fully step into today. You see new opportunities with fresh eyes rather than through the lens of past disappointments. You embrace love without fear, knowing that just because something didn't work before doesn't mean it never will. You take chances without hesitation, because you now understand that failure is not an ending, but a stepping stone. You walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that the years you once thought were wasted were actually working in your favor all along. Nothing was lost. Nothing was in vain. Every moment has led you to exactly where you are meant to be. And so you let go, not with force, not with effort, but with ease. You release the past because it no longer serves you. You embrace the present because it is where your power lies. And you move forward with a heart unburdened, knowing that the best is not behind you, it is ahead. There comes a time when you look around and realize that everything is unfolding in ways you could never have planned. The things you once desperately wanted but seemed out of reach now return to you effortlessly. The delays that frustrated you, the setbacks that made you question whether your desires would ever manifest, suddenly they all make sense. You begin to see that nothing was ever denied, only deferred, waiting for the right season. You may have spent years trying to force things into place, believing that if only you worked harder, pushed more, or strategized better, your desires would become reality. But no matter how much effort you put in, things didn't align the way you wanted. It felt unfair, as if life was withholding something from you. You questioned whether you were doing something wrong or whether you were being punished. But now, looking back, you see the perfection in the timing of it all. If you had received what you wanted when you first asked for it, would you have been ready? Could you have handled it with the wisdom and maturity you now possess? Often, what seems like a delay is actually divine protection. The universe was never saying no, it was saying, not yet. It was giving you time to grow, to become the person who could not only receive the blessing, but sustain it. As things start falling into place, you see how intricately everything was being woven together behind the scenes. The relationships that didn't work out made room for something healthier and more fulfilling. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers redirected you to something far greater than you could have imagined. The seasons of waiting were never about punishment. They were about preparation. You begin to trust in the flow of life in a way you never did before. Instead of rushing, instead of forcing, you allow things to unfold naturally. You no longer panic when things seem to be taking time, because you now understand that everything arrives when it is meant to. Not a moment too soon, not a second too late. There is a deep peace that comes with this realization. You stop comparing your journey to others, knowing that what is meant for you cannot be taken by anyone else. You stop resenting the past, because you understand that every perceived setback was actually a setup for something greater. And as you move forward, you start noticing signs that reassure you. Things aligning in perfect ways, unexpected doors opening, people appearing at just the right moment. It is as if the universe is confirming what you now know deep inside. Divine timing is real, and it is always working in your favor. You no longer chase because you know that what is meant for you will find you. You no longer beg for things to happen on your schedule because you trust that the universe's timing is infinitely wiser than your own. You walk with confidence, knowing that you are always exactly where you need to be. You release the need for control. You no longer resist the unfolding of your life, but instead you surrender to it. You know that what is coming is far greater than anything you could have planned for yourself. And because of this, you live in a state of gratitude even before you see the full manifestation of your desires. This is the beauty of divine timing. It is never late, never early, but always perfect. It was never about waiting endlessly. It was about trusting completely. And now, as you step into this new season of alignment, you see with absolute clarity nothing was ever lost. Everything was simply waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. There is a moment when everything shifts. What once felt slow, stagnant, and out of reach suddenly moves with breathtaking speed. The doors that remained closed for years swing open effortlessly. The blessings you longed for, the dreams you thought would take a lifetime, arrive with an urgency that defies logic. It is as if time itself bends in your favor, making up for all the years you thought were lost. This is supernatural acceleration. It is the moment when divine timing meets divine speed. You spend so much time believing things would take forever, that success would be a slow and painful climb, that restoration would require years of effort. But now, what once seemed impossible happens in an instant. The financial breakthrough you prayed for appears unexpectedly. The relationships that were strained and broken are suddenly restored with a depth of love and understanding you never imagined. The opportunities that once seemed distant are now right in front of you, waiting for you to step into them. You realize that all the time you thought was wasted was never lost. It was being stored up, waiting for the right moment. And now, as things begin to move quickly, you understand that the struggles you endured were not in vain. Every lesson, every delay, every hardship prepared you for this moment. You are not just receiving what was meant for you, you are receiving it in a way that redeems the time you thought had been wasted. You notice how effortlessly things fall into place. What used to require years of planning and effort now happens with divine ease. You are no longer striving, no longer forcing things to happen. Instead, you are simply aligning with the flow of life. And in this alignment, things move faster than you ever imagined. This speed does not overwhelm you. You do not feel rushed or anxious. Instead, there is a deep peace within you, a knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You do not doubt whether you deserve these blessings, nor do you fear that they will be taken away. You understand now that what is meant for you will always find you, and when the time is right, it will arrive in a way that defies human logic. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence. You no longer worry about how things will happen, because you have seen firsthand how effortlessly the universe orchestrates the details of your life. You no longer cling to the old, because you understand that something greater is always on its way. And you no longer question whether you are worthy, because you know that everything unfolding in your life was destined for you from the very beginning. You realize that acceleration is not just about speed, it is about alignment. It is about moving in harmony with divine will, about trusting that when the moment is right, everything will come together in ways beyond your imagination. It is about releasing fear, releasing doubt, and stepping boldly into the life that has been waiting for you all along. This is the power of supernatural acceleration. It does not just bring blessings, it redeems time, it restores what was lost, multiplies what was given, and propels you forward in ways that human effort never could. And as you step into this season, you do so with the certainty that what once took years to build can now manifest in mere moments. The delays are over. The waiting has ended. The season of rapid restoration has begun. There comes a moment when something within you shifts. The doubts that once clouded your mind begin to fade. The fear that kept you paralyzed loses its grip. You no longer hesitate, no longer question whether things will work out, because deep in your spirit, you already know. Restoration is not coming, it is already here. Restoration is not coming, it is already here. You wake up with a certainty you cannot explain. Nothing in your external world may have changed yet, but inside there is a quiet confidence, an unshakable urge to walk in faith. You no longer need to see proof before you believe. You simply know that what has been promised to you is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see it with your physical eyes. This is not blind hope. This is not wishful thinking. This is the deepest kind of faith, the kind that does not waver, that does not second guess, that does not retreat when faced with challenges. You find yourself moving differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. You no longer beg for what is already yours. You no longer chase after things that are destined to find you. Instead, you walk as if you already have it, because in truth you do. You notice how your energy shifts. There is no more desperation, no more anxiety. Instead, there is peace. You trust that every step you take is leading you exactly where you need to be. You are no longer bound by the limitations of logic or the constraints of time. You no longer measure your progress by what the world tells you is possible. You understand now that what is meant for you is beyond human reasoning. It is already set in motion, and all you have to do is align with it. You stop looking for signs because you become the sign. Your very presence radiates the certainty of someone who knows their blessings are already here. You stop asking whether it will happen, and instead you start preparing for it. You make room for the abundance that is coming. You clear out the old to make space for the new. You walk into every room, every situation, with the assurance that you belong there. Fear tries to whisper in the background, reminding you of past failures, past delays, past disappointments. But you no longer entertain those thoughts. You recognize them for what they are, illusions meant to keep you small. You refuse to let fear dictate your actions any longer. You step forward with boldness, knowing that the only thing that ever stood between you and your desires was your own willingness to believe. And now you believe with everything in you. You understand that faith is not about waiting passively. It is about acting as if it is already done. It is about walking with the confidence of someone who knows they are already victorious. It is about speaking words of certainty, thinking thoughts of abundance, and carrying yourself in a way that reflects the truth of your spirit. You no longer pray from a place of lack, but from a place of gratitude. You do not ask for what is already yours. You thank the universe for delivering it. You do not plead for restoration. You rejoice in the knowing that it has already begun. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains, that bends reality, that calls forth the unseen and makes it visible. This is the faith that accelerates your manifestations, that draws everything you need into your life effortlessly. And as you continue to walk in this faith, you realize something profound. You were never waiting for restoration. Restoration was always waiting for you. The moment you chose to believe fully, the moment you decided to walk in faith without hesitation, was the moment everything shifted. You move forward with unwavering certainty. You no longer hope for change. You embody it. You no longer wonder if your breakthrough is coming. You live as if it has already arrived. And because of this, the world around you begins to reflect what has already happened within. The restoration is not on its way, it is here, and you are ready to receive it. Everything you have lost, everything you thought was wasted, is being restored. The years of struggle, the delays that once frustrated you, and the disappointments that seemed unbearable were never signs of failure. They were preparation. You were never forgotten, never forsaken. Every lesson, every hardship, every closed door was aligning you for this very moment. The signs are clear. A deep peace fills you even in the midst of uncertainty. Doors you never knocked on begin to open effortlessly. The weight of the past no longer holds you captive. Divine timing becomes undeniable, showing you that nothing was denied, only deferred. Acceleration begins to take place, bringing breakthroughs faster than you imagined. And above all, you feel an unshakable urge to walk in faith, knowing with certainty that restoration is not coming, it is already here. This is your season of renewal. The struggles that once defined you no longer have power over you. What you thought was lost has only been multiplied. You stand at the threshold of a new beginning, a life filled with abundance, joy, and purpose. The waiting has ended. The time is now. Thank you. For a moment, take a deep breath. Let go of every thought that ties you to the world outside. There is something I must tell you, something that will change your life forever. You have been searching, trying, hoping, and yet the one thing that holds you back is your inability to feel. You want to see proof first, to touch it, to grasp it with your hands, but this is not how creation works. The secret lies in your ability to assume, to believe, and most importantly, to feel that what you desire is already yours. Right now, I ask you, what do you want? Is it love, success, wealth, health? It does not matter, for all things are possible when you learn to feel. The moment you allow yourself to step into the reality of your wish fulfilled, the unseen forces move to bring it into form. You do not need permission from the world. You do not need to beg, to struggle, to chase. You only need to shift within, to accept without resistance that your desire is already yours. Tonight, before you sleep, I ask you to do this. Enter that drowsy state, that quiet moment before dreams take over, and imagine yourself living the life you desire. But do not just see it. Feel it. Feel the warmth of love if you seek companionship. Feel the joy of success if you desire wealth. Feel the ease of health if you long for healing. Hold on to that feeling until it becomes natural, until it feels like home. Release it. Walk in faith. Do not search for signs. The world must follow what you have already accepted as true. You are the creator, the architect of your own destiny. When you feel something is real, it is already done. There is a hidden force within you, one that has been overlooked, dismissed, and misunderstood. It is not found in effort, struggle, or force, yet it has the power to shape your reality, to turn your desires into tangible experiences. This force is feeling. You have been taught to believe that hard work, persistence, and external actions are the primary tools for success. You have been told that if you want something, you must chase it relentlessly, work tirelessly, and fight against the odds. But what if I told you that the secret is not in effort, but in knowing, in assuming, in feeling your desire as already fulfilled? This is the key that unlocks the unseen and brings it into form. Right now, think of the one thing you truly desire. Perhaps it is financial abundance, a loving relationship, vibrant health, or success in a chosen field. Whatever it may be, notice how your mind instinctively calculates how it will come, how long it will take, or whether it is even possible. This is the conditioning of the physical world, a world that demands proof before belief. But creation does not work this way. The truth is the reverse. Believe first, and the proof will follow. Everything you have in your life right now is a reflection of past assumptions and dominant feelings. You did not consciously struggle for every single thing you possess. Much of it came naturally because at some level you felt it was yours. The house you live in, the people you interact with, the circumstances you find yourself in, all of it was once an invisible feeling, a silent assumption, a state you occupied within before it materialized without. The mistake many make is trying to force a new reality while still feeling lack, doubt, or desperation. They visualize wealth while feeling poor. They affirm love while feeling lonely. They work hard but carry the underlying belief that success is difficult. This contradiction keeps them stuck, for it is not the thought alone that manifests, but the feeling behind it. Feeling is the substance of creation. It is the energy that molds reality. You must learn to assume the feeling of already having what you desire. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself living in the fullness of your wish fulfilled, do not merely see it, feel it. Feel the peace of abundance, the security of success, the joy of love. Let it sink into your being until it feels natural, until it no longer feels like a dream, but a memory. This is not daydreaming. This is creation. The moment you accept a feeling as true, reality begins shifting to match it. You may not see changes immediately, but the unseen forces are already at work. Stay faithful to this new feeling, walk in it, speak from it, and most importantly, rest in it. Do not let the outer world deceive you. Circumstances do not matter. Only your inner state does. If you persist in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the world must conform. It has no choice. For feeling is the secret, and what you feel, you become. Your imagination is the foundation of your reality. Everything you see, touch, and experience in the physical world first existed in the unseen realm of thought. Every great invention, every towering skyscraper, every work of art, and every success story began as an idea, an image held in the mind. But it is not merely thinking or wishing that brings these things to life. It is the assumption that they are real, the feeling of their truth, that causes them to manifest. Your imagination is not a place of idle fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. The reality you live in today is the direct result of what you have imagined and accepted as true in the past. Whether you were aware of it or not, your dominant assumptions shape the course of your life. The relationships you have, the money in your account, the opportunities before you, all of it is a reflection of your inner world. If you wish to change what you see, you must first change what you imagine and feel to be real. Many people believe they are victims of circumstances, but nothing in your external world has power over you unless you accept it as true. The outer world is a shadow, a reflection of your internal state. If you persist in the assumption of lack, struggle, or rejection, your world must mirror that experience. But if you dare to assume and feel the reality of abundance, ease, and love, then your world must shift to reflect that new assumption. Feeling is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. It is not enough to merely think about what you want. You must feel it as if it were already yours. The subconscious mind does not respond to words alone. It responds to emotion, to the depth of conviction behind the thought. If you imagine yourself wealthy while secretly feeling poor, your dominant feeling will win and poverty will persist. But if you assume the feeling of wealth, of security, or financial ease, even before a single dollar appears, the world must rearrange itself to make that assumption real. Your imagination is limitless, and so are the possibilities before you. Nothing is too big, too difficult, or too far beyond reach. The only limits that exist are those you place on yourself through doubt and disbelief. The moment you release these limitations and dwell in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the world begins to shift. People, events, and opportunities move in ways you could not have predicted. Paths open where there were none before. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The key is persistence. You must remain faithful to your inner vision regardless of what the outer world shows you. Do not be deceived by temporary appearances. The delay between assumption and manifestation is only an illusion meant to test your faith. If you continue to live in the feeling of your desire, without wavering, without doubting, then what you have imagined will harden into fact. Everything begins within. Your imagination creates your reality, and feeling is the force that brings it to life. Assume the best, feel it as real, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. The world you see around you is not as solid or fixed as it seems. Everything that appears in your reality is merely a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. Your senses tell you that circumstances are real, that what is in front of you is all there is. But this is an illusion. The physical world is not the cause of your experiences, it is the effect. The cause is within you. Most people live as though the outside world has power over them. They react to what they see, hear, and feel, believing that circumstances dictate their emotions, their actions, and their possibilities. If they see lack, they believe in lack. If they experience rejection, they assume they are unworthy. They allow what appears now to determine what they will continue to experience. But if you live this way, you are merely chasing shadows. You are allowing the past to repeat itself because you are holding on to what your senses tell you is true. If you wish to change your reality, you must first detach from what your senses report. Do not let the external world define you. It is not permanent. It is not unchangeable. It is simply a reflection of what you once assumed to be true. To create something new, you must turn your attention inward and shift your inner state. You must feel differently first, before the world can reflect it back to you. Think of a mirror. If you frown into it, it does not smile back at you. The image only changes when you change. Reality works the same way. If you feel poor, neglected, or unworthy, the world will continue to reflect that back to you. But if you assume a new feeling, if you persist in the belief that you are abundant, loved, and successful, the mirror must change. It has no choice. The world is only responding to what you assume to be true. This is why detachment is essential. If you remain emotionally tied to what your senses show you, you will keep reinforcing the same reality. You must rise above appearances and live from a deeper knowing. The knowing that what you feel within now is what will soon become real in the world outside. Ignore the current circumstances if they do not align with your desires. They are nothing more than echoes of old beliefs. They are not permanent. They are not final. Detachment does not mean ignoring your responsibilities or withdrawing from life. It means refusing to be controlled by the illusion of lack, failure, or limitation. It means choosing your inner state rather than letting the world choose it for you. When you master this, you become free. You no longer react to life, you create it. Your only job is to hold on to the feeling of what you desire as if it is already true. The world will catch up. It must. The unseen always precedes the seen. Change how you feel and reality will follow. Let go of doubt, stop reacting, and trust in the unseen power within you. Your world will transform before your eyes. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to wish, to hope, or to look outside of yourself for signs that your desire is coming. If you truly understood the power within you, you would know that desire itself is proof of its fulfillment. The moment you desire something, it already exists in an unseen reality. Your only task is to dwell in the end, to assume and feel that it is already yours. Most people live in a state of waiting. They hope, they long, they wish for a future in which their dreams will come true. But in doing so, they keep their desire in the future always just out of reach. They send signals to their subconscious mind that they do not have what they want, and so the world reflects that lack. The secret is not in waiting, but in assuming, in stepping into the state of already having it. Think of your deepest desire. Instead of seeing it as something separate from you, something you must chase or work for, imagine it as already fulfilled. How would you feel if you had it right now? How would you move, speak, and think if it were already done? Let that feeling consume you. Let it become your natural state. The more you dwell in this feeling, the more real it becomes. until the world has no choice but to conform. You do not need to know how your desire will manifest. That is not your concern. The world will rearrange itself in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities will arise, circumstances will shift, and people will play their part, all aligning to bring your assumption into reality. But you must remain faithful to the end result. You must persist in the feeling of fulfillment, regardless of what the outer world currently shows you. This is where many people fail. They begin to assume, to feel the reality of their wish, but then they look around and see no immediate change. Doubt creeps in. They check for signs, they question whether it is working, and they slip back into their old state of longing. This wavering undoes their work. To manifest what you desire, you must remain unmoved by appearances. You must trust that what you have assumed is already in motion, even if there is no visible evidence yet. Think of planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process, knowing that beneath the surface, unseen forces are at work. The same is true for your desires. Once you have assumed them to be true, your only job is to live in that state. To think, feel, and act as though it is already done. This is the secret of effortless creation. When you stop trying to make things happen and instead dwell in the end, reality bends to match your inner world. What once seemed impossible will unfold naturally, without force or struggle. Simply be the person who already has what they desire, and the world will reflect it. It is law. Every night as you close your eyes and drift into sleep, you stand at the doorway of creation. In this drowsy, relaxed state, your conscious mind fades, and your subconscious becomes highly impressionable. It no longer argues, doubts, or questions. It simply accepts. This is the most powerful moment to reshape your reality, to implant the feeling of your wish fulfilled so deeply that it must manifest in the world around you. Most people go to sleep in a state of worry, regret, or frustration. They replay the troubles of the day, dwell on their struggles, and unknowingly impress these negative feelings upon their subconscious. The next day, they wake up to more of the same circumstances because they have unknowingly recreated them in their sleep. But you can use this time differently. You can enter the state of the wish fulfilled and allow your subconscious to make it real. Before sleep, let go of the outer world. Do not concern yourself with what is happening, what has happened, or what may come. None of that matters. All that matters is the reality you are about to create within. Close your eyes, relax your body, and enter a state of calm. Feel the heaviness of sleep approaching, but remain aware enough to direct your thoughts. This is the perfect moment to assume the feeling of your desire already being yours. See yourself in the life you want, not as an observer, but as a participant. If your desire is love, feel the warmth of it surrounding you. If it is success, hear the words of praise spoken to you. If it is abundance, sense the security and ease of having more than enough. Make the scene as vivid as possible, but more importantly, let it be natural. Do not force it. Let it unfold effortlessly, as though you are recalling a memory rather than creating a fantasy. The key is not just to visualize, but to feel. Feeling is the language of the subconscious. If you simply watch images in your mind without emotion, you are only daydreaming. But the moment you attach a deep, genuine feeling to the scene, as though it is happening now, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And what the subconscious accepts as true, it must bring to life. Persist in this feeling until sleep takes over. Let yourself drift off in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This is not a time to think about how it will happen or to question whether it is working. This is a time to surrender to the feeling of already having what you want. By doing this, you impress your subconscious with the new reality, and it will work tirelessly to manifest it in ways beyond your comprehension. When you wake, resist the urge to doubt. Do not look at the outer world for immediate proof. Simply trust that the seed has been planted and allow it to unfold. The world you wake up to will soon begin to change, aligning itself with the assumption you fell asleep in. This is the secret of effortless creation. If you sleep each night in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the day will come when you no longer have to imagine it, because it will be your reality. Faith is not hoping, wishing, or waiting for proof. Faith is feeling a deep inner knowing that what you have assumed is already yours. The world may show you nothing yet, there may be no physical evidence, but the moment you feel something as real within, it has already begun to materialize. Most people believe only in what they can see, hear, or touch. They wait for confirmation from the outside world before they allow themselves to believe. But this is not faith. Faith does not require proof. Faith is the ability to feel something into being, to trust in the unseen so completely that it must appear in the seen. Right now, whatever you desire, whether it is love, success, wealth, or healing, exists as a possibility. It is not separate from you. The only thing keeping it at a distance is your belief that it is not yet real. But the moment you accept it within, the moment you feel its reality before seeing it, the process of manifestation begins. Your subconscious takes that feeling as truth, and the world around you starts to shift to reflect it. Most people sabotage their own desires by looking for evidence too soon. They assume their wish fulfilled for a moment, then immediately check their surroundings to see if anything has changed. When they see the same circumstances, they doubt, they question, and they fall back into their old state of lack. This wavering cancels out their assumption. You must persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of what the physical world shows you. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The moment you plant it, the process of growth has already begun, even though you cannot see it yet. If you keep digging it up to check if it is growing, you will only delay its progress. The same is true for your desires. Once you have assumed them as real within, leave them undisturbed. Trust that the unseen forces are working to bring them into form. Feeling is the secret ingredient. It is not enough to simply say, "I believe." You must feel the reality of your desire. If you desire love, feel the warmth and joy of being in that loving relationship now. If you desire success, feel the confidence, the satisfaction, the ease of already being successful. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to feel this way. Feel it now, and the world will follow. Faith is not passive. It is an active state of being. It is living as though your desire is already a fact, speaking as though it is done, walking as though you are the person who already has it. When you truly embody this feeling, you will no longer need proof, because you know it is done. And once you know it is done within, it must become done without. This is the great mystery of creation. The world does not shape your belief shapes the world. Change your inner feeling, hold firm in your faith, and reality will bend to match it. Everything you seek, love, success, abundance, or peace, begins within you. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. When you learn to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to trust in the unseen, and to persist in that inner knowing, you become the master of your reality. There is no need to struggle, chase, or doubt. Simply feel it as real, and the world will rearrange itself to match your assumption. Do not be deceived by what your senses show you today. The circumstances you see are only the echoes of past thoughts and beliefs. But you are not bound by them. At any moment you can step into a new state of being, a new assumption, and watch as your world transforms before you. The key is faith. Not blind hope, but the deep, unwavering feeling that it is already done. If you can fall asleep in the state of your fulfilled desire, if you can carry that knowing throughout your day, and if you can trust that the unseen is more real than the seen, then nothing will be impossible for you. You are the creator of your reality. Feel it, believe it, and it must be so. Thank you.